Hey guys, it's Teacher Dad. So today I'm going to be doing a review of a new product that I've gotten, and it's right here, the DJI Osmo Mobile 4. Now what I have been using for my videos for quite some time is what I'm recording on right now is my DJI Osmo Pocket, and I've been fairly happy with that. It's very stable and does most everything that I need it to do. But the other device that I do have is I have a little bit older phone, but it's the Samsung S10 Plus, and it does comparatively a little bit better quality video even than the DJI. The DJI is getting a little bit older beyond the Samsung here, and so I started doing some of my primary recording with this camera, and so I started looking into some of the ways that might be able to stabilize this phone. And so I came across this as the DJI Osmo Mobile. Now I'm going to be doing a full review of all the basic features of this device, and then some of the things that you can do with it, show you some of the footage, and maybe do a comparison between how this compares to the DJI Osmo Mobile. And so stay tuned for the review. Let me know what you think at the end, and stay tuned. We'll see you again here in a bit. Well, first off, with the DJI Osmo Mobile, there are two different methods of connecting the device to your phone. One is that this is a magnetic type system. It does fold up quite nicely and very compact, so it locks together in place and has a nice carrying case that comes along with it. So you can see that it locks up quite nice and stable there. And so then when you want to connect it to your phone, there are two different methods. So it does come with this little spring-loaded clip, which is here. It is also magnetic on the back, and so that would be able to connect to your phone. This is usually probably for a little bit smaller phones. I have the S10 Plus, and so my phone, it fits, but with a case. I use an OtterBox Defender case, and so with that case attached, it is quite large, and so it really stretches this in order to fit. And so I did a little modification of mine. It also comes with this little magnetic clip that can be adhered onto the back of your device. Now, I didn't really want to put this right on the back of my phone. It is like 3M sticky adhesive, so I don't know if it would come off afterwards or not, but if you're going to try to sell your phone at some point, you might want to consider that. So I have the OtterBox case, and so what I did is I actually took the rubberized case and I cut out the case. This is quite a lot of work to do, but I actually cut out the case custom fit so that it would fit directly around the magnetic device. So you can see on the back there that it does have this adhesive, and so I stuck that directly to the plastic part of my OtterBox Defender case. And so your particular situation that you might be using, you may want to vary the method that you use to stick that onto your device, but as I said, that was what I chose to do. And it does make a very nice setting, because what it does now, one of the negatives is it does eliminate the possibility of using the wireless charging on the back of your device, because it is a very strong magnet. Now, it is magnetic only on the one side, so it sticks very strongly here, but the magnetic attraction on the other side is virtually non-existent. So when you want to connect your phone, now that I have this attached here, now I can connect this right to my phone, and it creates a nice, very stable setting. One other thing is, if you do decide to connect it to the back of your phone, it does have a little pop socket type ring here, and so you can use that for stabilizing your phone, holding your phone. So again, that's just one of the possibilities if you go this method for connecting your device to the Osmo Pocket. When the Osmo Mobile is turned on, it does automatically activate and begins stabilizing the phone. You can see that it holds the phone in this relatively straight position. Now, at this point, it's not connected to the device. A lot of the functionality of the device does have to be linked to the Bluetooth capacity, and so when you want to function under that method, you do have to use the DJI Mimo app for a lot of the functionality. If you choose not to use this app. You can use your standard camera app, but it does not give you some of the various features of what you're capable of doing with the DJI Osmo Mobile. Now, once you are here, then you can use this just like a standard DJI Osmo Pocket, and it gives you the ability to control your device here. So just the brief overview of how the Osmo Mobile works. If you double click your power button or the M function here 2 times, it will rotate from landscape and portrait mode. Obviously your device here gives you the ability to record and change modes from photo and camera modes. Over here on the side of the device, you'll see that there is a zoom function. Now this is only using your camera's normal zoom. So if you have multiple lenses, this camera has multiple lenses. So it has the wide angle at 0.5, it has the normal lens at 1.0, and it has the 2 times zoom going forward. You can go all the way up into digital zoom, but again, once you're into digital zoom, you're losing actual image quality. So just keeping that in mind. Now, if you want to quickly move from one zoom to the next, just pushing the slider all the way and letting it go, it will quickly transition from one zoom mode to the other. Now, another function here is on the back of the device. So you'll see that there is a little trigger mechanism here. And so what happens is if you are wanting to switch modes, you can press the button once and it will lock onto a particular location and will begin active tracking that particular location. Press it again to reset. If you pull the trigger twice, it's going to recenter. And if you press it 3 times, then it's going to change to show you the reverse camera, or in this case, the selfie camera on the other side. One other function of the trigger is if you press once, and then hold, it will go into what is called sports mode. And I'll show you what that looks like. So the sports mode, this is your normal movement. So you can see the movement of the camera here. It does start to stabilize and keep things smooth. But if you're in the sport mode, it moves much more quickly. So it still helps to keep things stabilized, but it does it much more quickly, so you can actively follow along with sports mode. And so again, depending on how you're recording, this will depend on what you're actually going to want to do and how stable this is going to be within your actual mode. So those are the basic overview. So a couple of nice features of this particular camera and gimbal is that you have obviously the video feature, which is your standard. There are all kinds of different settings that you can go into. You can use this for regular photos. You can use this for taking panoramas, and there are a couple different types of panoramas. One thing nice about using a panorama on a gimbal is that it keeps everything stabilized. So you can see that it will stabilize the phone while it's taking and stitching all of the photos together. This is a nice feature as it helps to make sure that there is no difference in missing parts of the photo while you're taking your panorama. So I haven't used this mode too much, but there is what's called story mode. This allows you to record various little clips of different lengths, and then it will stitch them together and create a little movie. I do most of my editing in post, and so I haven't used this feature too much. Going back the other way, you can see that there is some special settings here. One is called dynamic zoom. So you can use a special feature. Again, this is just using the zoom function on your camera. And so depending on using the digital zoom versus using a standard zoom, this is going to be dependent on the quality of the zoom in the phone. And so again, I haven't used this too much, but it does give you some interesting effects that are possible of being achieved here. So one of the features that is kind of neat here that you can see is it has what is known as gesture control. So what happens is when you are going to video, you can get in front of the camera and perform a gesture, and it will automatically start recording. and then there's a setting that it will ask you, do you want to start active tracking or do you simply want to start recording? So the active tracking will automatically lock onto your face and then begin tracking your movements. So the one nice feature about this is it does have what's called an active tracking, and it can recognize gestures. So if you hold your hand up, what it will do is it will automatically start tracking you, and you can see that it will start doing an automatic tracking and follow. Now I have found that this is potentially a little bit aggressive in the way that it tracks. I haven't determined if there are some different ways of setting how sensitive it is, but I've noticed that when I've used this, just my general movements back and forth will cause the camera to sway quite a bit. So I need to look into whether or not this is adjustable, but I found that this active tracking seems to be fairly sensitive, and so that was one thing that I didn't care for as well. But again, it does give you the ability to perform a gesture, automatically start tracking, and recording at the same time. So those are the overall basic features of the gimbal, and so now I do want to show you some comparative pictures and videos, show you what it compares to with the Osmo Pocket. So I'll be doing kind of a comparison side by side, show you kind of walking around and some of the various functionality, and so we'll do that comparison here. So first, just a comparison of some basic walking. So this is just normal walking. This is not doing anything out of the abnormal, so I'm not attempting to walk using the various techniques for stabilizing your walking ability and so on. Just basically going and turning at the end of each of these little paths here. So just to show you how this compares on a set of stairs here. And one more final comparison here, just to show you what happens if you did actually run with these. Now this would be, again, probably the most severe of any of the kind of stabilization that these would be holding up to. So you can see what happens here with a running. Well, thanks for watching that video, and if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. Click the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video and this review. If you want to see more things along this line, make sure that you click that bell to be notified of any future videos. If you have any questions, you can put those down below. Make sure you check out all the links down in the description for the various items that we talked about today if you wanted to purchase them for yourself, and we'll see you again on the next one.